Hi, tiny humans! Welcome to Storytime and More with me, Teacher Dionna. I'm so happy to see you. How are you feeling today? So many emotions, I know. Well, let's get today started with some literacy yoga. Let's roll. This is a duck. Quack, 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 quack. Does duck begin with the letter D or Z? If it begins with a D, I want you to do the tree pose. If it begins with Z, I want you to do the warrior pose. Are you doing the tree pose? Then you are correct. Duck begins with the letter D. D, D, duck. Here is a fish. Does fish begin with the letter G or F? If it begins with G, do the boat pose. If it begins with F, do the airplane pose. Are you doing the airplane pose? Then you are correct. Fish begins with the letter F. Fish. This is a moon. Wow, beautiful. Does moon begin with the letter M or C? If it begins with M, do the butterfly pose. If it begins with C, do the squat pose. Are you doing the butterfly pose? Then you are correct. Moon begins with the letter M. Here's a pig. Oink, 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 oink. Does pig begin with a W or a P? If it begins with a W, do the horse pose. If it begins with a P, do downward facing dog pose. Are you doing downward facing dog? Then you are correct. Pig begins with the letter P. Pig. Let's do one more. Here is a turtle. A turtle. Turtles are slow. Does turtle begin with the letter T or the letter B? If turtle begins with T, do the boat pose. If it begins with B, do the tree pose. Look at you in your boat pose. Very good. Turtle begins with a T. Turtle. Great job, tiny humans. And remember, you can do this at home with your grown-up, with things around your house. You can think of beginning letters and then poses to go with them. All right, continue that learning at home. Let's open our imaginations and dive into a book. It's story time. Hello to everyone, and how are you today? We come to our story time to laugh and sing and play. When you're up, and when you're down, you're down. When you're only halfway up, you're neither up nor down. Roll your hands so slowly, then roll them oh so fast. Give your hands a clap, 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 and fold them in your lap, tap, tap. Today's story is More Bears by Kenn Nesbitt. Once upon a time, there was a story. This story was a lovely story with absolutely no bears in it. Not a single bear anywhere. Then one day...
More bears!
What? Who said that? The author of the story looked around the room, wondering where those voices had come from. Were those the voices of children shouting? Then he went back to writing. As I was saying, this story had absolutely no bears at all. The author was very certain about this.
More bears!
The author tried very, very hard to ignore the children who thought the story ought to have
More bears!
Fine, this story had a bear. It was a cute little baby bear strolling through the book looking for...
More bears!
Now hold on a second. The author of this story knew exactly how many bears it should have, and the author insisted there should only be...
More bears!
2 bears there. Happy now? An adorable, cuddly-wuddly little bear named Mr. Fluffy and his mama bear Stella, who always wore a yellow hat. Now it happened that Stella and Mr. Fluffy, like all bears, were especially fond of...
More bears!
More bears, of course. The author was just thinking that. The author was thinking that just to keep everybody happy, this story should have a papa bear, whose name, by the way, was Captain Picklehead, and a bear named Uncle Sheldon, who was bald and loved to play the ukulele. Now, where were we? Oh, yes.
More bears!
Stop that. How many bears do you want this story to have anyway? Do you really want to hear about Bobcat Sam, the bear who rode a pony, or Admiral Haversham, the English dancing bear, and Excellent Steve, the bear who wanted to surf? Oh, you do? Wow, why didn't you say so? In that case, the author suddenly decided that what this story really needed was...
More bears!
Yes, 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 more bears. So the author added Astro Bear, who, by the way, was Bulgarian and always kept a hamster in his pocket just in case. And then the author put in 3 more bears named Lester, Chester, Esther, and Floyd. Wait, that's 4. Oh well, 4 is okay because, after all, this story really needed...
More bears!
And needed a bear named Lucky Eddie who juggled carrots. And a bear named Elbow who wasn't very smart and always wore his underpants on the outside of his regular pants. And a bear named 123, which even the author thought was a strange name for a bear. And since this probably wasn't enough, the author added even...
More bears!
The author added 6 bears on tiny pink tricycles, 2 bears reading comic books, 1 bear flying across the page in a cape and lederhosen, 3 more bears swinging through the trees on vines, a bear in a yellow submarine, several bears making cupcakes, and an entire team of firefighting bears running across the page with hoses, ladders, and party balloons. There were bears hanging from the top of the page, bears sleeping in the corners, and bears standing on top of other bears. There were so many bears in the story that they couldn't all fit on the page. It was crowded, too crowded. So crowded that some bears started pushing other bears off of the page and arguing, which made the author grumpy. And when authors get grumpy, they start rewriting, changing the story. In fact, this author was so grumpy, he told the bears to leave. And they did. After all, this was the author's story. They walked off the page, they rode off the page, they swung off the page, they surfed, they danced, they climbed, they ran, and even somersaulted off the page. Everybody say bye, bears. Bye, bears. At last, all the bears were gone, and the author smiled. Finally, the author had a story with no bears in it. A lovely story with not a single bear anywhere. Just the way the author wanted it, because you see, the author was quite certain that this story should have absolutely more chickens. Hi, Squeakaroo! Let's talk about the author of that story, More Bears. That's a great question. What is the author? The author is the person that wrote the words in a story. Ooh, Squeakeroo wants to know about all those wonderful pictures that we see in a book. Well, the illustrator draws all those wonderful pictures. Yes, and together the author and the illustrator make a book. Say, have you ever written your own story, tiny humans?
Huh?
You can be an author too. Did you know that? Now, if you are a big enough tiny human where you can put letter sounds and letters together to make words, you can write a story. And even if you are not old enough, you can draw some pictures. And maybe your grown-up can write a story and you can draw the pictures for it. And you staple that together. And guess what? You just created your own story. How amazing! I would love to see what you can create, tiny humans. Open up those imaginations and write and draw away. You can do it. We're going on a letter hunt. We're going to see 3 pictures, and we have to find where the letter is hiding. These are transportation vehicles. What are they? A boat, a car, and an airplane. We're looking for the letter B. B. I'll give you a hint where the B is hiding. It's behind the transportation vehicle that begins with the letter B. Boat. Very good. Let's try that again, but this time with animals. What are these animals? Fish, cat, dog. We're looking for the letter C this time. Remember, the C is hiding behind the animal that begins with the letter C. Meow. It's the cat. Cat. There it is. Let's do it again, this time with musical instruments. Tambourine, accordion, guitar. We're looking for the letter T. T. Oh yeah, it's behind the tambourine. Tambourine. Let's do food. What are these food items? Okay, banana, watermelon, spaghetti. We're looking for the letter S. Which food item begins with S sound? Spaghetti. Spaghetti. There's that letter S. We found it. One more time. Let's do it with insects. What's an insect? Oh, insect is just a fancy word for bug. Okay, what are these bugs? A ladybug, a bee, and a dragonfly. Very good. We're looking for the letter L. L. Which one of these insects or bugs begins with the letter L? Ladybug. Ladybug. That was so good. Yes. Let's count. What are these? Tractors. Let's count the tractors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tractors. What are these? Fences. Let's count the fences together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fences. What are these? Barns. You count. How many do you see? You are correct. 2. 1, 2, barns. Let's do a big number. Are you ready? Oh, I know you can do it. What are these? Apples. Let's count the apples together since it's such a big number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 apples. That's some great counting, tiny humans. Let's do one more. What are these? Trees. Can you count the trees on your own? How many trees do you see? Good. Now let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trees. That was some amazing counting. Very good. Time for our second story, but first, let's get some wiggles out. Let's wiggle our fingers, shoulders, necks, face, arms. Great! What else can you wiggle? Freestyle wiggle. Excellent. Let's read Time for School, Little Blue Truck by Alice Schertle. Horn went, beep, engine purred, friendliest sounds you ever heard. Little Blue Truck came down the road early one morning with good friend Toad. Little Blue Truck called, beep, beep, hi, to a big bright school bus passing by. What a wonderful bus! All shiny and yellow. She stopped and smiled. Hi, little fellow. Inside, everyone sat in a row. They waved out the windows to blue below. Everybody wave. Good. Little duck called, quack. There's school today. Little goat said, meh. Little horse said, neigh. Lamb, chick, cat called, bah, beep, moo. We're taking the bus to school, Little Blue. Ooh, they sound excited. Yes. What a wonderful job, said Little Blue. I wish I were a school bus too. You're a good little truck, the school bus said, but this job needs a bus instead. I'm shiny yellow. I'm long and wide, with lots of windows and seats inside. As the bus drove off, Blue heard her say, mustn't be late for school today. Down the road went Little Blue, still wishing he were a school bus too. They were almost home when Blue said, Toad, that's Piggy crying in the road. Oink, oink, I'm late. Poor big Piggy went. I missed the bus, I overslept. Beep, beep, don't cry, said Little Blue. Climb in. Let's see what I can do. By now, the bus is way ahead. We'll take another way instead. Blue made a turn and left the road. Woo. Hang on, Piggy. Hang on, Toad. I know a path right through this wood. I'll get you there like a school bus should. Bump, bump, bump. The path was rough, and Blue was little, but Blue was tough. There were bushes and brambles and towering trees. Cronk, said Toad. It's quite a squeeze. There's no room here for a great big bus. Beep, said Blue. There's room for us. Hoo, called an owl with mild surprise and looked at Blue with big round eyes. A gray squirrel chattered, chee, 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 and jumped along from tree to tree. And then they came to a stream. Blue splashed right in. Beep, beep, he said with a little Blue grin. I'm good at streams and getting wet. A little water never stopped me yet. Through the woods, what a bumpy ride. Then there was the road on the other side. Everybody say yay. Good. Oink, yelled Piggy. "You did it, Blue! I see the school and the school bus too." "Beep," said Blue. "It wasn't hard." And he drove right into the school bus yard. The school bus stared and blinked her eyes. "Looks like this job is just your size. You're not big, not yellow, not long and wide, but you had room for a friend inside. You did this job in your very own way. We needed a tough little truck today." Neigh, peep, oink, quack, bah, moo. Everybody cheered. "Good job, Blue!"